thing that I think that we have to figure out is how we can play 40 minutes. And a lot of that is on me, and a lot of that is on our team. I don't say anything different at halftime than I say before the game. And we don't practice any different in the first half of practice than we do the second half. But I think if we can solve that, then we've probably solved our biggest issue as of right now. Thought our guys were outstanding in the second half on all the things that you guys always hear me talk about. And I thought we were very poor in all the things that you always hear me talk about in the first half. I don't have a concrete answer to it. I'm sorry that I don't. But we'll continue to work to try to figure that out. Because I think if we can play 40 minutes the way we have tonight in the second half, the way we did in the second half against Syracuse, then I like our chances. But I don't think that you can beat elite level teams, which means that you can't be an elite team yourself if you can't play 40 minutes.
Well, you talk a lot about how you like to play. Is that how you like to play in the second half? Defend, run, attack the basket?
Well, I think within how we play, sometimes our best offense is our defense. And so statistically, if you think about the first half at Georgetown versus the second half at Georgetown, the first half against Syracuse, the second half against Syracuse, when we're able to get consecutive stops, we probably are going to score in transition. When we're getting the ball out of the basket, we're not. And I think most teams would say that, but I think we're definitely geared towards stops equal points in transition. And I don't know how many points, I don't ever pay attention to this because they don't know, but if you score 52 points in 20 minutes, that's pretty good. And in order to do that, that must mean that you're getting a lot of stops. And I think we scored 47 points at Syracuse on Saturday. That's plenty of points to win a game.
How big was it in the second half to have Darius and Jay on the court without any foul trouble?
Yeah, they're absolutely key components to what we do. I don't know that in the games since I've been here, if we've ever had 4 players with 2 fouls in the first half, with 3 of those guys being starters. It's very unhealthy, and it's another byproduct of not being ready and not doing what you have to do from an execution standpoint on both ends of the floor. And so that's what we have to correct.
How do you manage that first half? Looks like you're shuffling them in and out a little bit at a time.
Well, obviously you're shuffling them in and out because we have distinct foul troubles. While at the same time want to decrease their lead as much as possible prior to halftime. I don't like doing that, subbing offense for defense, but I thought that at that time it was probably the right thing to do just to give us a chance to hang in there. To only have been down 1 at half, considering all of the turmoil, probably okay.
Coach, you were here several years after he passed, but tonight was Al's night. What kind of impact does the Wire still have on your program?
Well, I think it's his program still. What's the word? What's posthumously? How do you say that?
Posthumously.
Yeah, what's that mean?
After someone's passed.
See, I'm a little smarter. I can't say the word, but I know what it is. I think it's still his deal. His name's on the court. His name's on our jerseys. His name's in the building that we work in. I have great respect, admiration for who he was and what he was about and how he changed the program from that point forward. And, like last year we played St. John's on Coach McGuire's night, and I'm wearing a bright yellow coat, and I tell Coach Lavin, look, I'm not trying to bring attention to myself. I'm doing this in honor of Coach McGuire. And then tonight I tell Coach Dunlap the same thing. This sofa plaid that I'm wearing is in honor of Coach McGuire because I think that was probably in style in the 70s.
Well, second half, like the first 8 or 9 baskets were layups, I think. Is that what you're looking for, the attack of the basket mode?
Well,
Or in the
without simplifying it so much, I told our team before the game, our success and or our failure will be determined by what happens in the channel. That's what we call it defensively, and then obviously we call it the paint offensively. And you think about how many baskets did they have in the paint in the first half, and then vice versa, how many baskets did we have in the second half? And both of them mirror one another relative to your question. At the start of the first half, they're scoring literally layups. And at the start of the second half, we're literally scoring layups. So, not to be too simplified, but that's what I believe.
Coach, in the first half, you guys seemed to struggle a little bit defending the ball screens. And then in the second half, it improved. Was it a change in strategy or a matter of execution?
Execution. Ball screen coverage has become one of the top 3 things that you have to be concerned about from a scouting report perspective. Not only who's setting the screen and what his skill set is, but who's receiving the screen and what's his skill set. And relative to those 2 answers, that's going to determine what the other 3 kids that are playing have to do from a rotation standpoint. So that's one of the things that we try to solve very early in the scouting process, so that prior to ever telling our kids, this is how we're defending ball screens. Sometimes it's specific to, this is how we would guard you in a ball screen, and then sometimes it's specific to where the ball screen is on the floor. How are you going to play it in the channel? How are you going to play it on the side? Or are you going to play it relative to who's setting the ball screen? When 3 sets a ball screen, that's different than when 4 sets a ball screen. And who's he setting the ball screen for? Is he setting it for 11? Is he setting it for 1? And teams guard us that same way. So we have spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of time in the off season studying all of that, because if you think about minus transition, if you take away transition, and now it becomes a half court situation, how many ball screens per possession are you going to guard? It's for sure at least 1. You think about all the possessions against Villanova, you're going to guard a ball screen at least twice every single possession once you take away transition. And so our ball screen coverages as assistant coaches, all the things that we study off synergy, all the different things that we study to make those decisions, it becomes really critical, because with a ball screen, they're setting a ball screen to force help. So what kind of help are you going to have to give on that ball screen? And we look at it the same way offensively. How are our opponents guarding ball screens?
Did you like Devontae?
I didn't hear
Did
you.
you like Devontae?
I thought he was great. I thought he was the reason we won the game. I thought he was the reason we were able to hang in there in the first half. I thought he was by far the hardest playing guy on the floor. I don't think that I said this to Homer on the radio. He had 9 defensive rebounds. I don't know if total he's ever had 9 rebounds in his career. We don't count offensive rebounds when you miss your own shot, because that's how you used to play. So you would miss a shot and get a rebound, and then you'd go home and tell your parents, I had 5 rebounds. And you should have told them that I missed 5 shots and I got those rebounds. So we don't do that, but I thought he played outstanding. His energy level on a daily basis, our team's energy level on a daily basis, determines a lot for us. Energy and attitude, I think it says a lot in life, and I think that says a lot in basketball.
That's it.